since in a lot of my videos I've talked about polishing, and I just thought I'd do a video on polishing since I don't remember if I did one last semester, just to show you like the basic techniques that I've learned for polishing, as well as what I'm talking about when I talk about 80 grit, 120, 240, or 280, and 320 grit paper, the differences between those, and then also what I'm talking about when I'm talking about backing and various things. First I'm going to start with paper. I'll just walk you through. 80 grit paper is the roughest. Generally you can tell how rough paper is by how dark it is. So based on like how dark this paper is compared to something like 240, you can see the difference in color here. Since you guys obviously can't feel the different textures, this is much rougher. The lower the number, the rougher the paper. I only use 80 grit if there's really deep pitting or something in the material I'm working on. Obviously you'll start with the lower grit and then you'll work your way up to the higher grit. Generally the highest gunsmiths use for general work is 320 grit, which is this paper. That is the front of the paper, yes, and there's the back of the paper, so you can actually see through this paper. That's how thin it is, and it's pretty smooth. But those are different papers. As far as backing goes, it just depends on what you're doing. For what I'm working on, I'm using a file as backing, and I just basically take the paper, put it straight on the file like that, and polish. I also have an eraser that I've rounded on one end that helps me get into various different corners and stuff, and then it has this end that I can use the flat of it or the point of it to help get into pointers or use on flat pieces. Those are just used backing for whatever shape. I mean, I've used this Sharpie before to polish, so it just depends on what the shape is and what you're trying to polish and stuff. As far as the actual technique for polishing goes, it'd be rather difficult for me to show you, I think. I don't know. I'll show you. Hang on. Alright, we can see right here. For demonstration's sake, let's just imagine that this paper is going to go from 120 to 180 to 240 to 320, and I'm not going to change paper. I've already polished this end to a 320, but I'm just going to show you the different techniques. It's a really simple technique to polish. All you have to do is, hold your material in a vise like I have mine here, and then you simply are going across in a cross motion like this with 1 grit paper, and then you'll switch and you'll go across it at a different angle. The reason you do that is so you can see the lines of your first paper disappear when the lines of the second paper, and then once all of it's covered in the lines of the second paper, you go to the third paper, and that you'll do straight across. And you go to your fourth paper, and that one you'll go like this, straight up and down across the material this way, lengthwise. And then if you still need it, you're going higher and polish with more paper, then you'll just start over again. Your final polish, all the lines have to be running lengthwise. So since my final polish on this is 320, I'm doing lengthwise. Even though I started out like this and then did this, now I'm automatically going to this, because lengthwise is the finished polish. The reason I'm wearing blue gloves is because your hands are oily, and when you get to a polish of 240 or higher, your fingerprints will be visible on the metal, and that counts against you in points for polish. So whenever I'm handling my material that's at a higher polish than 240, which this piece is at 240 and some parts that are 320, I put gloves on so I don't leave fingerprints. I can wipe it off and I can handle it and not leave fingerprints. So that's why I'm wearing the blue gloves. It's very important when you're polishing to have good lighting, so I've got this LED lamp here as well as all the lights on in my room. It's also very good to have some background music, as you can hear my favorite band Red playing in the background. So other than that, yeah, polishing is just very monotonous. It's also one of the easiest ways to make money for gunsmiths is refinishing, metal finishing. This is basically metal prep. This is the barrel I told you guys about in my last video that I'll be express rust brewing on Wednesday of this week. So, yep, that's just a video of polishing. Now you guys know what I'm talking about in the future when I say I have to polish an action, or polish a barrel, or polish a trigger to do a trigger job or whatever. You know what I'm talking about when I say polishing. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. There will be more to come in the future. God bless.